Motor Company today launched its new hybrid Fusion car in New York City. It's going to be crucial for sales. Joining me now is Ford Motors CEO Alan Mulally. We're in a Manhattan dealership. It's so good to see you once again.
Good to see you, Rhonda.
Tell me a little bit about what this car here is going to do for sales. What are your projections?
Okay, now Rhonda, back up a little bit so we can get a really good shot of this fantastic design. It's just so fun to be here in Manhattan Ford, like you were saying, and watch everybody walk in and just watch their heads turn. Well, clearly this is a very important part of our Ford plan going forward. And when you look at this size market that the Fusion serves in the United States, last year it was about 25% of the market. We believe next year it'll be 33% of the market. The Fusion has always been in the top 3 in this market segment until this one arrives. And what's really neat about this, Rhonda, is not only is it the Fusion and you have a petrol version, but in this version you have the power of choice. You can get a EcoBoost version that has direct fuel injection and turbocharging, another 30% improvement in economy, or you can get a hybrid or a plug-in hybrid if you want to operate on electricity. So you get to choose the vehicle you want.
Well, let's switch to a slightly less happy topic, and that's what's happening in Europe.
Yes.
Sales down 29% in August. It's tough for everyone. It's tough for Ford in particular. Now, you just launched a burst of new products in Ford, including the Mondeo.
Yes.
Are sales going to be strong enough to catch up to what you need to do in terms of the bottom line? Are those products going to do it for you?
Well, they're certainly going to help. I think that your point is really important. Europe is very much of a concern for everybody, the economy. Most of the countries now are clearly in a recession. We're so pleased that the leaders are working the fiscal and the monetary policy to figure out how to deal with that, because it is getting worse. To your point about the automobile industry, they used to, not very long ago, had an industry of nearly 18 million units, and now they have even less than 14, about 13 and a half. So everybody operating in Europe is really struggling. Now in Ford's case, we have continued to restructure the business. We're the #2 brand in all of Europe and Russia, and we announced, as you pointed out, 15 new vehicles because we believe in the European customer. There's still a very strong market there. But also we'll continue to do like the United States, where we will continue to restructure the business to operate profitably. And I might point out that because we have continued to do that, 6 out of the last 8 years, we have been profitable in Europe.
How quickly can you lower production, though, in Europe? A lot of the analysts have said you got to lower production there. You're working on turning things around. And a follow-up to that, does the Mondeo have to be produced in Genk?
Well, absolutely, that we need to set the production to the real demand. The worst thing you can do in the automobile industry is keep your production up, make more cars that are needed, then the dealers have to discount them, then you ruin the residual value and you really hurt the customer. So Ford has led in Europe, just like in the United States, by bringing our production down to the real true demand and not discount the vehicles. And we'll continue to do that. Now, with respect to your comment about our production facilities, we don't have anything to announce today, but clearly as we go forward here, just like we did in the United States, we will continue to restructure that business to operate profitably.
But nothing's been ruled out in terms of location.
No, we need to look at every aspect of our plan, every bit of the cost, and we continue to take down the production while we speak, which is the best thing we can do for the consumer.
Are you going to have to spend more time in Europe this year to try to deal with some of those problems?
Well, I spend about a third of my time there, about a third of my time in Asia Pacific, and of course a third of my time in the Americas, because Ford's plan, as you have covered very well, is Henry Ford's original vision of serve all the markets around the world with a complete family of vehicles like the new Fusion. And so I'll continue to support all the areas around the world.
Can you tell me if one option on the table would be shorter work weeks? I'm trying to hone in a little bit more on the restructuring.
Yes, we have done. Yeah, we've done that. We're taking down shifts, our temporary employees. We're going to do everything, just like we did in the United States. We're going to do everything we can, because the most important thing is that we minimize the losses in the near term, but also get back to operating profitably, because that's the only way that we can continue to invest.
And when will that be?
Well, we'll continue to work with all the stakeholders. We continue to announce things along the way, and we'll continue to do that, working with everybody.
So no firm timetable?
No new information today, yeah.
And let me ask you as well, when do you see the auto industry in Europe returning to the level that we had historically?
Well, we're not sure that it's going to return to that 18 million level. I think the more natural rate is around 16 to 17, maybe at the most. And no idea about when, because clearly it's going to go with economic activity, and that'll really be answered about how fast the fiscal and the monetary policies are put in place to get the economy turned around and growing again, just like what happened in the United States.
Well, let's move to a more happier area. That's Canada. You just had a settlement with the auto workers in Canada. What percentage will Canadian production be for North American production overall a few years from now? Right now, about 9%. So where do you see that going in the next
I
couple
think
of
it's
years?
about the same, and it's a great operation. We operate out of Oakville in Canada, as you know. We make the edges there, plus we have an engine plant. And it's just such a great development with the CAW because it continues to improve our company's productivity and our competitiveness, which is absolutely the essential for growing the business and providing these great jobs. So we're very pleased with where we are and that we work together to a really good agreement.
Can I tell you, the last 3 years I've been asking when you're going to leave Ford. I'm so tired of asking you that question.
Well, you don't have to.
I don't have to, but let me ask it to you this way. Would you consider any other role at Ford, including non-executive chairman, if asked?
Well, I really, and I've been as clear as I could, I really enjoy and I'm honored to serve as the president and CEO of Ford, and I have no other plans to do just that. But having said that, I would like to comment that I understand why people are asking. This is a very important company. It's very important for our country. It's the auto industry is nearly 12 to 15% of the U.S. economic activity, and people love Ford. They love the story of Ford. They love the transformation of Ford.
And they love the turnaround that you did in terms of the stockholders, because
love the turnaround.
That's the concern.
Because we
correct?
create a lot of value, and so just rest assured that I love Ford. I love serving.
In fact, you have Ford on your shirt.
There
I know.
you
I don't
go.
think our
Look at
camera
there.
will pick that up, but you actually have it on your cuff there.
Absolutely.
What about a chief operating officer? You've not had one in the past. It's something the board reportedly is talking about. Are you comfortable with that? Is it time for that now at Ford? We just went through some of the issues at Europe, and there's a lot on the plate.
Well, again, we have nothing to announce today. I love and I'm honored to serve as CEO of Ford. And we've also said that we have a very robust succession plan. It's the most important thing the board does, and I'm on the board, I'm a board member, is to make sure that we develop an entire management team so that at every position we have a very good succession plan. And many people believe, I know I feel that way, that we probably have one of the best leadership teams ever in the industry and in business, and I'm so pleased for them, and I'm so pleased for Ford.
How would you rate the succession planning at some of your peers as well? You just illustrated how important the auto industry is to this country. I mean, do you think that all three of Detroit's big three automakers take it as seriously as Ford does?
Well, in Ford's case, we have always taken it seriously, and we took it very seriously at Boeing. And it's just one of the most important responsibilities of the board. And it's fun to be on the board in addition to being the president and CEO and really focus on leadership development and on succession plan.
Very quick before I let you go, how worried are you about...
But we did cover that I am honored to continue to serve.
Yeah,
as
I got
CEO.
that. I'm waiting for you to answer that. I'm going to have to ask you again, I think.
Okay.
How worried are you about this fiscal cliff in the U.S. and the U.S. economy overall? Are you worried about a ding in sales from that?
Well, I think that I'm very encouraged that everybody is working on it because, in the United States, it's so important that we live within our means, that we deal with our budget deficits, that we also deal with our trade deficits, because we're talking about the competitiveness of the United States of America. And again, in Ford's case, I'm just so pleased that during the toughest of times, we continue to invest in Ford. And with this great lineup of best-in-class vehicles, we are actually a major contributor to the economic recovery. So I'm sure that the leadership is going to make sure that we do everything we possibly can to keep this economic expansion growing.
Alan Mulally, nice to talk to you. I
Thank
guess I'll
you.
talk to you again.
President and CEO of Ford.
Yeah, for now.
Okay.
Good to
Thanks
talk
a lot.
to you.
Thank you.
I'm Rhonda Schaffler. This is Reuters.